Hello, Aries. Welcome to October 2018. Thank you guys so much for being here. So we have Four of Swords coming out first, which is a beautiful card at any time. It signifies meditation and reflection, a little bit of introspection, and really thinking about your past or really where you're going. I mean, it can speak to each of us in a different way. Sometimes it signifies stepping away from the crowd, stepping away from your friends and networks, simply to kind of work out your perspective. Because sometimes we get caught up in life and we just have a lot going on. And if we don't take the time to really think about what we think, then we can just kind of end up making brash decisions. So this is a really mature place to be. And to have that card coming out first is a really positive sign that with this Venus retrograde, you're going to be, I don't know, I'm getting a very peaceful vibe. You know, we just went through the Mars retrograde. I think y'all were feeling that. That's obviously your ruling planet, right? So now that your female counterpart, the ruler of your opposite sign, Libra, as we enter this season of Libra, you're going to be kind of not in the highlight or not in the hot seat. Yeah, I mean, this is great, right? This is a wonderful energy to deal with the devil energy, because the devil is sometimes where we get stuck. And we get stuck when we don't think about what we think, when we don't think about what we feel, and when we don't take on that role of the observer, right? That's a very famous thing, right? We have two minds. We have the thinking mind and we have the observing mind. And this is the observing mind. This is the higher level consciousness. So when you're dealing with a devil situation, right, a sticky relationship, a bad work situation, when you find yourself in a recurring pattern, in a pattern that you can't quite seem to break, this is exactly what you need to deal with it. So I'm not even worried about that at all for you guys. Let's see what comes out around it. The devil often comes and shows us our limits, right? That's what Saturn and the devil and the sign of Capricorn, that's what it all really represents. Our limits. But when we concentrate, because we all have those areas of concentration in our life, those areas that we just can't quite seem to get right, or it takes us a very long time to get it right. Now you have the wherewithal to really hunker down and deal with it once and for all. And look, we even get the Eight of Pentacles. It's about going to work. That's what the Eight of Pentacles suggests. Putting your head down and doing what you got to do. I know that there's stuff that you really need to deal with, that you need to break free from once and for all. It's probably in the realm of relationships, I'm not going to lie. Venus retrograde in Scorpio in your 8th house, it does bring up stuff from your deepest, darkest depths of your psyche, from inside your soul. So the way you go about interacting with other people, it doesn't have to be romantic partnerships, but the way you go about interacting with people, the way you go about connecting with people is probably going to be revised this month. Plus you have the sun opposition, right? Especially if you have a sun in Aries or a sun moon or a sun ascendant opposition. And that puts your ego on the block as well. So as long as you're really willing to do the work, the things that it's going to take, because you're going to come to conclusions during this sort of period of reflection. You're going to come and figure things out. And you're going to say, okay, now I know what I need to do. And you're going to actually have to start doing those things. It's not just about knowing what to do. That's useless to everyone. You got to do something. So you're going to have that as well. One thing to not do, just as a recommendation, we'll clarify this devil in the comprehensive for sure, but one thing to not do is to ignore this and hide here. This is meant to give you that kind of aha kind of moment, right? When the light switches on. But you can also very easily get lost in your work and lost in your day-to-day and in the mundane things of life and not deal with it at all. And that's going to just make it come out even bigger the next time around. See, relationship stuff for sure. Now, Three of Swords indicates that you are in a healing phase. So even if you're in a happy relationship, and I'm sorry, I just happened to see the bottom of the deck. You guys know I don't normally do that, but I happen to see the Lovers at the bottom. So when we get the Lovers and the Devil, sometimes it signifies an attraction or a connection that was really intense, and somehow it either went wrong or you stumbled a little bit, you guys butted heads or whatever. Again, because it was probably because you were having something mirrored back to you that you didn't really like or you weren't conscious of. So I think you are healing from something like that, because this combination, I mean, you can see how similar they are. I mean, just the nature of the cards with the man and the woman with the angel and the man and the woman with the other divine entity here, you know? It's really intense. It's very chemical, but it taught you a lot of things. It did push you to limits that you probably didn't even know you had. So Three of Swords is what happens when a Lover's goes awry, when a Lover's card gets sour. And you're forced to just kind of sit in it. And because we've got Chiron going back into Pisces as well, I think it's there officially now at the time of this recording. That brings up a lot of the stuff that we've been dealing with for the last 10 years too. It's like, let's do a progress check. Let's make sure that you're really good on this stuff. Let's make sure you're really healed. Let's have it resurface up in your emotions one last time before really moving on into the new era. And we knew that was coming. We knew that we were going to have to take a dip back into the Piscean energy. And we have the sun coming in contact with Pisces as well. So, again, that question of really, who are we? Well, actually, it's coming opposite. Sorry, I said coming together, but it's coming opposite. Excuse me. Ace of Cups in the Tower. Okay. Ace of Cups reverse. First of all, it's a positive sign that it came out, period. Now, when an ace comes out reverse, I almost always see it as a delay on that thing really coming to you. Ace of Cups can signify a new romantic interest, a new spiritual opportunity, right? Especially with all this introspection, this can often be like some kind of a breakthrough of some kind. Clearly, there is some crashing down of structure happening or belief system or something. We have the crystallization of Saturn here, and then we have the destruction of the Tower. So belief system comes crashing down. Whatever has been crystallized in your life comes crashing down. So this is a really, really positive note, because this is where transformation really happens. And this card is often associated with the sign of Scorpio as well. So the fact that you're getting a Scorpio card with the Venus retrograde in Scorpio makes a lot of sense. So over the course of the next 2 months, because we will be making our way into Scorpio season as well, that kind of breakdown and rebuilding will probably be at the forefront of your mind, your conscious mind. Ace of Cups is what's waiting for you. This is the happy ending. This is that moment where you feel refreshed. You feel like, okay, I really have a handle on this stuff. I feel like I'm really in control of these emotions. I'm really in control of this sort of manifestation process, because that's what is really hard in this world to really come in contact with, is how do I go about with this whole manifestation thing that everyone keeps talking about? How do I actually attract, or how do I actually draw in the energy of the things that I really want in this life? Well, this is an opportunity for you to really learn how to do that, how to attract the happy things in life, how to attract the healthy partnerships, how to attract the quality friendships, and just kind of the more balanced mental and emotional state. Seeing a lot of balance with mentality and emotions here, which is great. But see, it's that observing mind that is so critical, because a lot of people are going to take both they have their thinking mind and they have their observing mind, and they're fused together. So the thoughts get kind of pushed into this devil over here. And if they're not really observing their thoughts, because we all know we can't really control our thoughts that well, but we don't have to let them take over us. And a lot of people can get very lost here, because this is when your mind takes over. This is when your emotions take over. And now is a time for you to practice all of the things that you've learned, because I suspect this is something that's been in your life for a while. It's not something that's just coming in just right now, right? 3 of Swords usually indicates some kind of an ending, right? And then here's this as well. So again, the Tower always is connected with the Wheel of Fortune as well. You have to have the Tower to make space. If you're going to rebuild something, you have to have a platform on which to rebuild. You have to have that blank slate, and that's what this offers you. So is it going to be a little bit tough or challenging? Maybe, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It could really just be a matter of changing your mind about something, plain and simple. And if that's the case, great. This card is very closely connected with the Mars energy, which is your ruling planet as well. And Mars gives you the wherewithal to act, to do something, right? And here's a very active card as well. This is like an Energizer bunny energy connected with the sign of Virgo. Just so you guys know, the numbers in the suit cards 2, 3, and 4 are connected with the cardinal energies of the zodiac. So the cardinal air sign is the sign of Libra, and we are in Libra season. So there's that desire to be balanced, and we have the more mature number 4, the achievement of balance of the mind. So, this is it's going to be a great month for you if you can tap into that. Again, we'll clarify a lot of these in the comprehensive. There's a lot to talk about. So, 5 of Wands. Be careful that your inner situation you don't take it out on the people that you love. Because sometimes, and this applies to everyone as well, it's their responsibility too, right? They are also co-creators of the relationship. So, if you find yourself in a 5 of Wands situation, which is about arguing, and it's usually about petty stuff, it's usually not really about the true core issues. A lot of times a 5 of Wands occurs when people are frustrated, but they're also not being honest, they're not being authentic, and they're just sort of taking out their frustration on other people, but they're not being real with it. And now it's important for people to be real. And again, Venus in Scorpio, she's going to demand it in a lot of ways. Like, you better be real, you better be honest, you better say it like it is, even if that hurts someone's feelings. This is often occurring, because we don't want to get hurt. Maybe we don't want to hurt someone else by saying what's actually really bothering us. But, if you want your life to run more smoothly, you have to be honest, So if you find yourself arguing with people, really ask yourself why. Again, eject yourself from the situation and be like, man, self, what's going on? What's going on with you? Check in. Do a daily check-in if you have to. Just be like, what's really going on under the surface there? Yeah, 4 of Swords and Hermit often come out together. Essentially, they're the same message, and it is about introspection. There's also a processing or digesting here as being 2 cards of Virgo coming out. So here you have the quiet, wise man inside of you, or wise woman, the Buddha in your heart, the one that sees all and remains humble in their own transformation. Again, this is not a card of where 2 people or 3 people or 10 people. This is not a card where everyone is humble or practicing humility. This is when people's egos really get in the way. Again, ego, sun coming across, Chiron, makes sense. The ego's on the docket. And we may have a humbling experience. Again, we may even be humbled simply by the fact that something comes back when we thought we were over it. when we thought we made it through. But you are wiser now than you were last year. You are wiser now than you were 10 years ago. So utilize that wisdom. This is even a very wise card as well. And I often point out the dark horse in this card because it usually comes out when there's other dark cards, right, with a lot of black in them. And this to me is someone who has conquered their darkness, or who understands what that even is, who understands their duality and knows what to do with it. People that don't know what to do with it engage in this kind of stuff, and they project stuff onto other people and they pick fights or whatever. But when you are in control of that, you can use it to your benefit. You can use your dark, I'm using the word darkness, but I mean, it's just kind of that part of us that's that broods, I guess we could even say that, the more isolated and introverted part of us that wants to kind of stay in and stay inside and all of that. But you can use that because it gives you the maturity. I'm so happy I'm seeing such a strong level of maturity here. I mean, that goes across the board, because not everyone's going to be practicing that this month, you know. Some people are going to have a hard time with the Venus retrograde. Slow and steady wins the race. I always say that with the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race. If you want things to go well, if you want things to work out, it's better for you not to make rash decisions. If you find yourself here, see, he's even observing this more so. He's illuminating this, but this is what's behind him. So you may find yourself trapped between two versions of yourself and two ultimate desires and two ultimate tendencies of what you really want to do in order to handle something. Well, I guarantee you that if you tap into the Knight of Pentacles, which is more of a Virgo, earthy air, you will have more success in really breaking through, or, you know, with this kind of tower thing. Oh, we got 3 exactly, so let's take those. Yeah. This is a beautiful card signifying stability. Very opposite from this, which is a very unstable energy, especially even after following a tower. You know, this also is about being with the people that you love and the people that you care about. Some of you may engage in more social activity, but please make sure that it is high quality social activity, and it's not, you know, you're not engaging in negativity, you're not gossiping, you're not, you know, talking about things that don't really matter. Be with people that lift you up, not tear you down, because if you're with people that tear you down, you could easily just get sucked back in here, and we don't want that. You know, we've all been through this recently, so it is time for us to really move on. It is time for us to harness ourselves, like get back up on that horse and just move forward. And that's exactly what you're doing. And you're going to have that opportunity to really do that. See, the Page of Cups and the Ace of Cups, I think, are kind of the same. We'll clarify this in the comprehensive. The Page of Cups is giving you it's opening a door, right? So that you can move into the 9 and 10 of Cups, which is ultimate happiness, ultimate satisfaction, which is really where we all want to be. Not to say you won't still have some difficult times in life, because that's just life, but the way you handle it really merits whether it's kind of a good or bad experience, right? And so here's an opportunity for you to get to the 9 of Cups, which is about wishes coming true, which is about pride and honor and dignity. See, if you succumb back to this and you find yourself sinking back here, I think you're going to regret it. And life is not about racking up regrets, right? Let's avoid that at all costs. And please make sure to really do the meditation that is needed for you to really tap into that observing mind of yours, so that you can just you don't even have to deal with this. This can just be like totally irrelevant. Like for some of you, you're going to look at it, you're going to see it, and you're just going to beeline it in the other direction, and you avoid that altogether. And that is a successful month for you. That would be a success, right? That right there. And that's worth being proud of. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys there. Again, lots to clarify in the comprehensive here. So if you want to hop on to my website and join me there, I would love to have you. But if not, then I will see you next month. All right, thank you guys so much. Take care.